Welcome.
To the New Mexico Momcast. I'm Vanessa Bush.
And I'm Becca Lusko-Toops. The New Mexico Momcast is a show from ABQ Mom for local moms as we navigate raising our kids in the land of enchantment.
And we have a really special episode for you today. I'm so excited for you to listen to this interview. We have a couple of the wives of New Mexico United players. And they're just talking about, the unique lifestyle that they have, being married to professional athletes. And I wanted to bring them on because I had met one of them in real life, and she just talked about how cool their wife and girlfriend group is, and they get together and they're just really supportive of each other. And I'm like, well, we need to tell this story. I need everyone to hear it. So they joined us today.
I love it because, again, most of them are transplants to our city, but because they have this kind of built-in community, they kind of come in new and have a support system, and people to lean on that are in similar situations, obviously, because it's unique. Being a wife and girlfriend of a professional soccer player, and there's unique challenges that come along with that. But they have such great attitudes, and they're so fun.
They're just so young and adorable too.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
They are. Yeah. So, are you a big United fan? Have you guys been to some games?
I have. I love the fun of it. I wasn't raised a soccer person. And so soccer isn't my first go-to sport, but when you go, you can't, the enthusiasm is so contagious. People screaming and running around, strangers come up and hug you when they score a goal. And I'm like, oh, hi, yes. And so you can't help but absolutely love it. And I really have grown to love going to the games for that reason. So what about you?
Yes, they are so fun. I love being there. I was not raised a soccer person at all. I do not think the high school I went to, it was a small school, but I don't think we had a soccer team. And if we did, I didn't know about it. And it was a small school, so I think we didn't. But soccer was just not part of my reality. But then a few of my kids started playing, and we just kind of they like soccer, so I guess we better get into this. And I love it. I love this sport. It's all about anticipation, and you just never know when something amazing is going to happen. And it's like, oh, it was this close. And then when it finally, when the ball finally goes in the goal, it feels like, oh, so good. Anyway, I love going to games and have really grown to love the sport. And I'm so happy that we have the United here so close. And it's just, I feel like this team is a real gift to our city and our state.
Certainly. Yeah. I'm excited for everyone to listen in. So let's get started.
Well, hi, we have Hannah and Jade here with us today. I'm so glad to have you ladies and to finally sit down and have this conversation. I will probably just open it up to you real quick to introduce yourselves, your families, and anything that you want us to know about you, maybe where you're from, that type of thing. So Hannah, tell us about you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today. We're super excited to get to chat about, life with the team and life married to professional soccer players. I'm Hannah. I'm 26. I'm from Dallas. My husband is Talon Maples. He's number 12 on the team. He's from Austin, and we moved here last year after playing in Houston for a couple years. So we lived here for about a year now, and we had our first child last July. His name is Malachi. He's 7 months old now. And yeah, we're loving Albuquerque so far. It's been really great.
And the cutest little buddy you've ever seen. He's so darling.
Yeah, the little cheeks.
Oh, cannot. Jade, tell us about you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jade Ryden. I am married to Kalen Ryden. He's number 22 on the team. We've been here since 2020. So an interesting year to move to Albuquerque.
Sorry about
that. We've been here since 2022. So we're on our 6th season in Albuquerque. And we have a 2-year-old daughter named Kendall. We call her Kenny. And yeah, we've been here for a while now, and it's been great. Happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here too. And so, okay, I'll preface this with saying I wanted to have all the wives and the girlfriends and everything, but then this podcast would have been ridiculous. So we just have a couple of you mamas. And the reason why you're here is I mean, your husbands are great and all. Like, we're so pumped that they're here. But what I love about what you ladies are doing is you've just really established like a community away from home amongst yourselves. And I feel like specifically a community where it would be really, really easy to be super competitive and catty. It doesn't seem like you guys are like that, and that there's a lot of like real friendship going on. So tell us about your group and what you guys do together and that type of thing.
Yeah. I guess I can go first. I think we have a really great group here. We always try and get together when we can, and everybody's very supportive of each other. It's just a really good group, and I think it's great to have that support system when you are away from your family. You kind of get that built-in support when you do, join a team. At least you hope that there's other WAGs. I know, I've been doing this for, this is, I think, my 9th year with Kaylin doing this. And there's been some teams where, there aren't very many WAGs, or they do live in the same city. And so it's different here because, when I originally moved here in 2020, I feel like there were so many of us, and it's continued to be like that. So it's really cool to see the group continue to thrive and to grow and welcome in new people. So I think it's a really unique situation to have that built-in support.
For sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so glad you said WAGs, because I was like, what do they call themselves? Because I know on the TV shows, I was trying to think of a different acronym that included soccer players.
Yeah. I feel like some people can be like maybe offended by it, but I don't know any other way to say it.
Yeah, it's like the easiest way to refer to the whole group, because you could be like, there's some of us that are dating, some of us that are married, some of us that are engaged. Like, it just encapsulates
all of it,
the whole group. So
yeah. Hannah, when you said you came from Houston, was that your same experience on the team? Did you have that kind of camaraderie and community, or is that unique here to United?
For me, this is the first team I've been on that has had that really unique community. When we were in Houston, Talon was playing for the second team. And so this is our first year like married as well. I had moved from Dallas down to Houston right after our wedding. And because he was on the second team, we were 23 when we got married, for example. So a lot of the guys were younger, like Talon was on the older end of the team. And so a lot of the guys had girlfriends, or they were just single, like they were 18, 19 years old, single. And the ones that did have girlfriends, they didn't live in Houston. So it was like some of them would visit sometimes and like we would hang out, but it was hard to find friends. And so whenever we moved here and like realized that there was a WAG group that all got along and hung out and actually like enjoyed spending time together, Talon was really excited about that. For me as well. Or, like, I was excited and Talon was excited about it as well, because I think it makes it easier on them, because it's not easy, like following someone for their job, like leaving your friends and family, leaving what like to go with someone else, like purely for them. Like, there's no reason for me to move to Albuquerque separate from Talon. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I think it makes it easier on them knowing that like we have a support system in that place that they took us to,
Totally.
I agree. So good. I love how you said that, like, just that you have kind of this built-in support system. And I know there are some things you guys do to like, do you sit at the games together? Do you watch away games together? What are maybe some of like the traditions and, I don't know, traditions is the right word, routines that you've developed as a group?
Yeah, so we all have there's like a family section that they put us in at the games. So we're all sat within the same like 3 or 4 rows. And so we all sit together at the home games. Last year before I gave birth, I used to host watch parties, but ever since I had Kai, it's been a little bit harder, obviously, just with having a newborn and stuff. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get that going this year. I know that there's some other WAGs on the team who have like been interested in hosting watch parties as well. So we try to get together at someone's house for the away games, or we'll try to go to like the watch parties at Bosque Brewing. I think there's another one at the Sandia Casino. That's pretty good. So sometimes like a group of us will all go meet up there. And then in terms of, that's kind of like just WAG stuff, but we've also done like birthday parties for people. Like we went bowling for a player's birthday last year, which was really fun. We've done like cookouts at people's houses. We did a birthday party at someone's pool. We did like 4th of July somewhere, you know, like we try to get together for the big things because, you know, a lot of us don't have family here. And so who else are you going to spend your birthday with besides like your friends? So, yeah.
So I'm sure like I can just imagine maybe the uncertainty of being married to someone who's playing professional sports and like not knowing what's coming from year to year. Maybe, and it can just mean a lot of change. And so how do you guys develop this strong connection despite that? Like and also there's probably like new people coming in and out all the time. How do you bring them into the fold? I just asked you like a million questions at once. So sorry.
Yeah. Like, are you talking about like with the WAG group? Like how do we?
Yeah.
I think, you know, when it comes to WAGs, I think we all get along really well, but I think you also see individual friendships happening as well. You know, because different people will connect, and I've made some of my best friends by, you know, being in the soccer community. And I still have really close friends that are, you know, that don't live where I live anymore, and our, you know, husbands don't play with each other anymore on the same team, but we're still really close. So I love that aspect of kind of the WAG community, is that you can be, you know, anywhere in the United States, but still be connected to them just because you have that special connection and bond, especially when you're going through all the ups and downs together. It bonds you. So I think that makes it really unique.
Well, for both of you have relatively small children, and your husbands and your partners are traveling a lot because of this job. How's that been and unique for you? Because you're brought into a new place, and obviously you have this community, but like that's got to be really challenging to be raising a newborn and a 2-year-old, you know, in a newer city.
Yeah.
Well, I know Ian and I both work from home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard.
Challenge.
Colin's first away trip was, I think Kai was 10 days old and he had to leave for the first time. He was gone for like, it was like an East Coast trip too. So they were gone for 4 days rather than the normal 2. Yeah, we're very lucky that my family and his family are both willing to travel. Like I wasn't alone with Kai until he was like 12 or 13 weeks, which was really great. And definitely not the norm, I know, for like someone or for people who are married to professional athletes. Like I think, yeah, I remember I gave birth on a Monday. Talon was in training on Tuesday, and then he like came back. He like left the hospital to go to training and then came back to the hospital. We got discharged, and then they had a game Wednesday night, and then they had another one Saturday, and then they went out of town the following weekend, you know? So, and I'm just sitting there with like my newborn baby, like
very unique.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely difficult. And I do think like the community, I think we do lean on each other in certain ways. Like I know before I had Kai, like there was times that I have babysat like another WAG's daughter because the guys were out of town. They weren't coming back in yet. And they had to, I think they got in late that day for some reason. Usually they're home by like 2-ish, but this day they weren't home till like 5 p.m. for whatever reason. And she was working. And so someone had to go pick her daughter up from daycare. And so I went and picked her up and like hung out with her for a few hours because I don't mind doing that because I know that like whenever I need it with Kai, like someone's going to step up because, yeah, like we all understand the situation that we're in. And I think it like everyone says it takes a village. Like this is the village.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So, okay, this is like a little interesting question. Can you give any moms listening like some tips for going to United games, like with kiddos in particular? Like, is there a best place to change a diaper or toddler bathroom, or I don't know? What are some tips? Like every time Hannah I see pictures, Kai has on like headphones. I'm guessing, you know, it gets pretty loud. That's probably a good idea. So, yeah,
Jade is the queen of this, so I'll let her take this one.
I would just say headphones, I think big time for when they're little. And then especially on the nights where there's fireworks. Kenny is so terrified of the fireworks. And so we've had to have the headphones for that. She's used to the crowd now and she claps and yells, but I would definitely say bring the headphones just in case. And definitely bring your diaper bag in. That's a huge resource too, because a lot of people think that you can't bring, like you really can't bring, you know, bigger than a wallet in, like if you don't have a baby. So definitely utilize the fact that you can bring in a diaper bag and bring the snacks, bring, you know, all the things that you need, some toys to keep them kind of occupied. Yeah, bathroom wise, there are some changing tables that I know of because I've used it. But I don't know about all of the different bathrooms, but they do have that for sure. So
I've also seen some of the moms with older kids like take them to the playground. Isn't that on the other side?
yeah,
They do that a lot. You've also like given your phone to Kenny with Bluey on and been like,
I
here,
sure
watch
have.
this. You know, like she's fine.
Yeah.
She's over the game. Okay, you can watch Bluey for 20 minutes. Like it's
You
fine.
pretty much just have to like do whatever you can to survive the game a little bit. And, if that's Bluey for like a little bit, that's fine. It's all good. Or she might run the aisles a little bit, like between me and some other people. But, yeah, just let them have fun.
I was going to say, it's just like airplane rules, kind of like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I do love that they have that playground there because that is a long period for kids to sit still, and watch and maintain focus. So being able to run over there, let them run around, get some of the sillies out, and then maybe come back to the seats is a great advantage.
Totally. It's very nice.
Hannah, you kind of mentioned this earlier, and I was like feeling for you. You're like, I have no reason to be in Albuquerque except for Talon. Yeah. And I feel like I have a similar story. I'm like, I just followed some guy here. But how do you balance that your own like goals or career or interests with the demands of like this soccer lifestyle?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to figure out how to word this. Sorry, so probably going to cut this out in the editing. Yeah, I think it's super important to I think it's really easy to lose yourself in their careers. Like I know other like wags who are hyper focused on their significant other's career, which I'm not going to sit here and say that Talon's career is not important. It is extremely important. And like what he does is important. Like their job is very grueling and day in and day out, like seeing what they do on a daily basis is crazy. Like I played soccer in college and like I could never do what they do on a daily basis. But I think like with having to move so much and like going somewhere that maybe you wouldn't necessarily be without them, like you have to maintain your sense of identity. Otherwise, like you kind of feel like you're just like swaying in the breeze and like you don't really have anything going for you. So whether that's like being really into your hobbies, being really into your job, having your children, like those are things that you can focus on that are not like 100% centered around like your husband and like his job, Like I love my job personally. I work in consulting. I love my coworkers. Like I work from home full time, but we do one like in-person week a year where we all go to the client site and then, have happy hours, drinks, dinner, whatever. And like, I will always make that work. Like that's a huge priority for me is to go to those things, to maintain my professional relationships, but also to like have things that I do that are not revolving around my husband's job and my child, same thing with all of my friends back in Dallas. I went to the Bahamas last week for 4 days I was a bridesmaid in one of my best friend's weddings. Like those are the things like you just have to make the time for and you have to prioritize. Otherwise, like you're just swaying in the wind of your husband's career, like, so that's kind of how I think I've tried to navigate it. I don't know, Jade, if you have other experiences with that.
Yeah, I'm similar to you. I work from home as well. And I keep Kenny at home with me, which is a challenge in itself now that she's running around. But I also do travel a lot for my work. So like, that's the reason why I'm in Oklahoma right now is because it's easier to be in Oklahoma with our families so that I can go to Salt Lake City for my job when I need to. And so for me right now, I'm going back to back within a couple weeks. So, it helps to have family nearby. And we also have family that are willing to drive to Albuquerque to, help me out when I need to as well to travel again. So yeah, it's a unique challenge, I think, for sure, to be following someone's career like this. I feel like most people may not understand what that is like, but yeah,
that's really good. And I think about it like this, and I mean, this isn't just true for athletes, but obviously an athlete's career is limited because we get old, people. And let me just tell you,